antler walking stick would go to cancer research. The auction on eBay had reached £540, the equivalent of just about $686 before he canceled the listing after learning that police had launched an investigation. After being found guilty of fraud by false representation, Marshall was sentenced to a 12-month community order. And that's where we end Caribbean Week in Review. Join us again next week as we recap the stories making headlines across the region. I'm Renee Sion.
On Wednesday, January 10th, the country celebrated 57 years of majority rule with an ecumenical service at Zion Baptist Church.
Get involved. You gotta participate. Whether you're black or you're white, whether you're PLP or SNM, you gotta participate.
Tune in to a rebroadcast on Sunday, January 14th at 11 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low-fiber, high-fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the legal community uniting in a collective commitment for the church service that marks the start of a year dedicated to justice. Also, day 2 of the Governor General's trip to Grand Bahama continuing with impactful visits to several facilities. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight as the legal year unfolds. The opening church service on Friday morning set the stage for a year of collective commitment within the legal community. The annual event, attended by a diverse gathering of professionals, the Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, justices, magistrates, and members of the Bahamas Bar Association, solidified a shared dedication to justice within the legal system. Raven Davis has tonight's top story.
Unexpected weather altering plans for the traditional foot march from the Garnet Lavardi Justice Center to the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King, transforming it into a car procession. Shortly thereafter, the opening of the legal year in the northern region, commencing with the religious service marked by hymns echoing throughout the solemn halls.
Me. I want to thank you. You give me another day.
In attendance, members of the judiciary, senior government officials, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, local school groups, all united in prayer for guidance for the legal profession. In a powerful sermon, Rector of Christ the King, Canon Lightbourne, bringing the issue of crime to the forefront, emphasizing the collective responsibility to address it.
In my humble opinion, we're fighting for the very soul of our country. I'm reminded of the words of St. Paul in his letter to the Ephesians. We are not fighting against flesh and blood. We are fighting against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder expressing joy in supporting both the judiciary and the Bar Association.
Well, I think it's important to be here today to work and to recognize not only the judiciary here in Freeport and in the Northern Bahamas, because we have representatives from Abaco here as well, but also the bar and the private bar and the public bar who work day in and day out in the administration of law in the Northern Bahamas. And you know, we are one country, but we also have to collectively act that way.
The ceremony concluding with a procession from Christ the King Church and ending here at the Garnet-Laverty Justice Center, where the Honorable Chief Justice of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Sir Ian Winder, conducting an inspection of the Royal Bahamas Police Force on a guard. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Reuben Davis.
Thanks, Raven. Well, on her second day on the island, the Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, making her presence felt at the Ministry for Grand Bahama, the opening of the legal year service, the Rand Memorial Hospital, and the home of veteran Henry Kelman. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports on today's tour.
The Governor General visiting the exhibition of the Majority Rule Day at the Ministry for Grand Bahama, today marking her second visit to the island, where she was accompanied by the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama, Kingsley Smith, and students from various schools. The exhibition was deemed a tour to remember. The staff at the Ministry of Grand Bahama giving the Governor General and the students insightful information about a few of the country's historical events. Her Excellency gave the students encouraging words. The students impressed by the tour and the presence of the Governor General.
The experience was great. So appreciative for the opportunity I got to be here and meet her.
I always learning, but I have never felt this interested in learning.
Her Excellency also attending the opening of the legal year service at Christ the King Cathedral, where she was able to sit amongst the island's attorneys and lawyers. The next stop for the Governor General was her inaugural visit to the Rand Memorial Hospital, making it the 25th visit of the Governor General. She greeted the healthcare workers, applauding them for the progress they've made over the years.
We now have an X-ray department instead of an X-ray room. When you look at our nurses, look at that, look how they're well dressed. Our professionalism is top class.
The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, leading the list of remarks, followed by the MP for West Grand Bahama and the administrator for the hospital.
I consider her to be my friend. I think she's doing an excellent job as Governor General, and it is my distinct pleasure to have her in Grand Bahama.
When you have the head of the state that visit your island and also your settlement and the people of the island, it makes them feel good to know that they are not forgotten.
This long-standing tradition serves as an inspiration and uplifting moment to our patients and our staff.
The Governor General touring the healthcare facility and viewing the reconstruction of the various departments. Her Excellency ending her tour expressing excitement for her visit and concluded with a special message. There have been many Governor Generals, but none were nurses. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Yolanda. Well, we have all seen this throughout the middle of the school day. Students who should be in school but are not, milling around in areas often getting into some forms of mischief, perhaps even worse. Well, now the Ministry of Education is rolling out a tool that gives all of us the ability to ensure that children are in school when they should be. Carville Pipeform joins us live now with the latest.
Well, Ramiko, it is something we've heard education officials express concern about for a while now. Students being outside of school during school hours. With the launch of this new education attendance hotline for both here in New Providence and there in Grand Bahama, this is one step towards correct.
We do apologize for the technical difficulty. We will have that in a later newscast. In other news, today is the final day of Pharmachem Technologies winding down operations process, which signals the closing of their doors, leaving 140 employees without a job. The company making the announcement on Monday, January 8th. Reports are also coming into our newsroom that many of those employees began receiving their severance packages as of Thursday. Now, Minister of Labor and Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, is confirming that the company did report the Department of Labor or did report to the Department of Labor in a timely manner, and that they are in communication on this closure.
Bearing in mind that a company like Pharmachem has employees who have specific skill sets, but it's important for us to ensure that they're not disengaged for a long time. So if it's something that we can do in the department to assist those workers in finding gainful employment, we're already there with them. Our Director of Labor, Mr. Howard Thompson, he's been there with our Minister of Grand Bahama from day one. And we've had an open door policy with Pharmachem executives to ensure that we help to transition those employees in Grand Bahama.
Pharmachem Technologies operated on Grand Bahama for 20 years, and the Labor Minister says the department is ensuring that they are immediately identifying opportunities of alternative employment for the company's employees.
Bearing in mind that a company like Pharmachem has employees who have specific skill sets, but it's important for us to ensure that they're not disengaged for a long time. So if it's something that we can do in the department to assist those workers in finding gainful employment, we're already there with them. Our Director of Labor, Mr. Howard Thompson, he's been there with our Minister of Grand Bahama from day one. And we've had an open door policy with Pharmachem executives to ensure that we help to transition those employees in Grand Bahama.
And in other news, Carnival Corporation, the world's largest cruise company, announcing yesterday that the accomplished senior executive and native Grand Bahamian Filcher Grant Adderley has been named Director of Public Affairs and Community Engagement, a new role that will be crucial to the company's ongoing efforts to deepen its already strong relationship with the Bahamas. Filcher, a well-known and respected figure throughout the Grand Bahama community, is expected to serve as an invaluable asset in strengthening existing ties and building new partnerships with a wide range of Bahamian stakeholders. This increased focus on community engagement comes as construction of the $500 million world-class Celebration Key cruise destination, the largest project of its kind ever undertaken by Carnival Corporation, is picking up pace on Grand Bahama. Her role will not be limited to Grand Bahama, however, as the Carnival is continuing to develop and improve aspects of its presence throughout the Bahamas, leading to many new opportunities for the company to support and give back to the local communities that have partnered with it over many years. Well, police on Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding a major drug bust on Thursday, January 11th, 2024, which landed one man in custody. Reports indicate that the Marine Support Unit in Grand Bahama apprehended an adult male and confiscated a large quantity of dangerous drugs, namely marijuana. Further reports indicate that while patrolling in waters near Shoreline Subdivision, the officers observed a lone male on board a white vessel. As they approached, the male attempted to flee, resulting resulting in a chase. During the pursuit, the male discarded objects into the ocean before being caught. A search of the vessel led to the discovery of ammunition and a large quantity of suspected marijuana, leading to the arrest of a 25-year-old male. The estimated weight of the suspected marijuana is 39.5 pounds, and the estimated street value is $59,250. When we come back here, how one church is rebuilding over in Abaco after being devastated by Hurricane Dorian. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, is back right after this.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Unwind every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Prop Club at the Grand Lucayan Hotel. Enjoy tasty food specials on draft beers and house specialty pizzas. The Prop Club, the best place to meet friends and enjoy happy hour.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
If you're tired of looking the same, yeah, you ain't got to complain, no. You know where to go and you know what to do. You can find it here. You got the best in men's world. Come on, let our friendly stuff help you. Hey. Come on and shop. See what a squire man's got. Yeah, we got it all for you.
Have you ever wondered how electricity gets to your home? Let's start at the beginning. Our teams at our energy plant work around the clock to generate power to be delivered to your home or business. When it leaves the generating facility, electricity first travels to a switch yard that increases the voltage to allow it to travel long distances throughout the island. A network of high voltage transmission lines is the backbone of the electric grid and is used to carry large amounts of electricity across long distances. After completing the first leg of this journey, electricity arrives at the neighborhood substation. The substation's job is to lower the voltage before power can be sent over shorter distances closer to homes and businesses. Once lowered, the electricity is now ready for the final leg of its voyage. When it leaves the substation, it travels along the distribution poles and wires, the ones you see every day around your community. Just outside your home or business, the electricity voltage is further reduced by a pole mount transformer to a level that customers use in their homes or businesses. And now that the electricity has finally reached its destination, it travels through a meter, flows to a service panel, and then to the outlets inside your home.
Your #1 news team covering the North. Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. It's a special occasion for one church home over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. First Assembly Church has begun the reconstruction of its church years after Hurricane Dorian lashed out on the island. Our Shane Stubbs was there for the special groundbreaking ceremony and filed with this report.
In the spirit of resilience, First Assembly Church is rebuilding nearly 5 years after Hurricane Dorian decimated this place of worship, hosting a special groundbreaking ceremony here in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Senior Pastor Ryan Forbes and his congregation look forward to their new look church home.
This work is the work that is done by God and not of us. And we believe and stand on that word today.
That's the voice of Senior Pastor at First Assembly Church, Ryan Forbes, who is brimming with enthusiasm that their church building is set to be completed in the near future. Standing on the Bible verse Zechariah 4 verse 6, Forbes believes the church's reconstruction symbolizes God's will for its members, who has been serving the community for some 57 years.
It means more of the gospel being spread. It means more of the mission of God being carried out. It means more of the work that God has called us to do as individuals.
Getting to this point was no easy task, but Forbes is grateful to Builders International for playing an intricate part in the ongoing rebuild. Commending the NGO for their unwavering commitment to various restoration projects, Pastor for Living Water Assembly, Eddie Victor, urged the continued support of their biggest helpers.
And especially Builders International. We need to look at how could we support them so they can continue doing the work. They're helping us, but now we need to be a part of their whole system.
Understanding the 57-year history the church holds, in his position as superintendent for the Assemblies of God, Reverend Dr. Vaughn Cash says this is one project's completion that must come to fruition.
The God that we serve is a God of revival. This building is going to be completed. And the Lord willing, I will be right back here on this site for the dedication of the new First Assembly.
And grateful to the clergy for their prayers. Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, says great things are in store for the long-standing House of Worship.
I read last week that the world's best days is behind her. While that may be so, the church days is looking promising with the groundbreaking of this new.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Read slow. Cue.
Now back to this story. As mentioned earlier in our newscast, we have all seen this throughout the middle of the school day. Students who should be in school but are not, milling around in areas, often getting into some forms of mischief, perhaps even worse. Well, now the Ministry of Education is rolling out a tool that gives us all the ability to ensure that children are in school when they should be. Carnival Corporation joins us live with the latest.
Well, Ramiko, it is something we've heard education officials express concern about for a while now. Students being outside of school during school hours. With the launch of this new education attendance hotline for both here in New Providence and there in Grand Bahama, this is one step towards correcting that. During COVID-19, school attendance fell off drastically. Even after a return to in-person learning, the number of students coming to school remained relatively low. Nearly 2 years later, officials say attendance has leveled off and now sits at around 90%. That's good news, but it's still not the 100% attendance rate education officials would like to see.
Education is mandatory for students or children the ages of 5 to 16. For students to gain academic and social skills, they must be present and engaged.
Today's launch of the Education Attendance Hotline for New Providence and Grand Bahama is another tool in the ministry's arsenal to ensure students are where they should be. The number is 422-4453 or 42-CHILD. Education Minister Hannah Martin.
So we are focused on getting children in the classroom because when they're there, we can help to mold and shape, support, protect, guide a young person as they move forward with their lives.
Members of the community are encouraged to keep their eyes out for students wandering the streets unaccompanied during school hours or students who are suspected of being out of school, not enrolled, or simply not attending school. The ministry also has additional attendance officers who will go door to door in communities searching for absent students. The initiative is being supported by the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
So we're going to be fully equipped and outfitted to provide the support to not only the school resource officers, but also the attendance officers and the Ministry of Education as a whole.
And Ramiko, those attendance officers you heard mentioned, they are crucial to the success of this program. There are 16 of them here in New Providence and 8 of them over in Grand Bahama. The hotline number again for all of us to learn, it is 422-4453 or 42-CHILD. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Corval Pfeiffer. Let's go back up to you, Ramiko.
Thanks so much, Carvel. Certainly a great initiative there. Well, in this final installment of our Majority Role series, a former member of the Royal Bahamas Police Force narrates a tale of victimization where his principles stand against supporting United Bahamian Party put him on the brink of jail time, shedding a light on the complexities of this political landscape in a pre-majority rule era. Raven Davis has more in this report.
Picture it, 1967. Members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force comprising the first individuals to cast their votes. In this compelling narrative, former police officer Benjamin Ferguson unfolds a tale of victimization. Ferguson facing the looming threat of jail time simply because of his refusal to support the reigning United Bahamian Party.
At that point, a lot of the leaders expected me to be supporter of the United Bahamian Party, but that wasn't the case. I worked in the police senior officers' nest. You had to swear to secrecy there, so everybody come into that area. You couldn't work in that area unless you were actually a member of the United Bahamian Party. That's the way it was. From that perspective, these officers suspected and believed that I was in fact a member of supporting the United Bahamian Party. Unfortunately, on that day it didn't happen. I was in charge of the station, and Eric Watkins, called him Bumpy, he was in charge. And he came into the station and said to me, Corporal Ferguson, you are a traitor and you should be in jail. He said that to me at the station.
What were the feelings of the people once majority rule was attained? I'm sure there were many others just like you who might have been prepared to die to see this happen. But what were their feelings once it happened?
When that day came, it was also a challenge for the police. We were challenged. Why were we challenged? People from Motor Hill went to the restaurants on Bay Street, and they began to order the food, places that they couldn't go. They went there and ordered the food, and some people refused to pay. So they called us in. You had to be very sensitive at that time to deal with matters like that. What I see, and I see as it relates to this change, is that people begin to feel that they have rights, all right? And there is someone who would listen to their cry, and not only listen, do something about it.
Jay Philippe has your check on sports.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. It was day one of the Grand Bahama Secondary School Athletic Association high school basketball season. 3 games on schedule. Let's head to the gym. It was opening day of the Obi Wilchcombe Derek Nesbitt High School Basketball League. In Game 1, the Tabernacle Falcons defeated JC Academy 65-16 behind Aiden Bean and Bradley McDonald, who both scored 10 points each in the win.
Some of the stuff that we were working on was more defensive stuff, and the first game of the season, we pretty impressed with what we saw, first-year team and JCA. So as the season goes on and get more competition, we'll be able to see where we are heading into the U Campbell.
The Falcons also recently returned home from competing at the Arby's Classic in Bristol, Tennessee.
Both games that we lost were winnable games, missed a lot of shots down the stretch in both games. But overall, we're pretty pleased with the direction the team is headed and looking.
Now in Game 2, the Sunland Stingers got off to a fast start to defeat 8-Mile Rock High Blue Jays 72-13. Nash Kelly scored a game-high 22 points, while Edwin Ferguson chipped in with 18 points in the win.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by the way we played today, especially coming off a long break. They did all the small things right. sprinting back on defense, rebounding, communicating. I'd like to see us talk more, be able to communicate and help each other out. Finish plays. We had a little lapse in there. Missed rebounds, missed layups. Still little small things that are fixable, but we definitely got to capitalize on that move.
The final game of the day saw St. George's Jaguars dominate BMES 40-14. Darrell Williams was the high point scorer with 15 points. Games will continue today at St. George's Gym. We also have scores from the Grand Bahama Independent School Association Basketball League. Hampton Academy got the win over Destiny Dominators 43-39. Jalen Grant and Stefano Pinder both had 11 points in the win. In Game 2, Blaze Elite Sports Academy got the W versus Greater Heights 43-23. Leuven Fleuridor was the high point man with 12 points in the win.
The Freeport, the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investments. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
In Grand Bahama,
your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Anime Stubbs, you are our Facebook friend of the day, celebrating 87 years young. We hope the Stubbs family is giving you the royal treatment today. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, a woman accused of harboring charged. Montabra pastor resigns. School attendance hotline launched. And coming up in sports, Jemiah Nabi talks track future. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. We begin tonight with news from the courts. Police wasting no time in filing formal charges against a woman accused of harboring a murder suspect. Fern Carey was in court for the arraignment.
41-year-old Shanika Johnson facing a magistrate Friday, accused of harboring accused murderer Gamaliel Gray between Friday, January 5th and January 7th of this year at her home. Johnson appeared emotionless as she stood before senior magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans. Court documents show that Johnson concealed Gray, whom she was in a relationship with, at her Nassau Village home, even though she knew he had committed murder, enabling him to escape lawful arrest. But the Sampson Street resident denied any involvement in the matter and pleaded not guilty. She was granted $10,000 bail with 1 or 2 suretors, and signing-in conditions are attached. She'll also be fitted with an electronic monitoring device. She returns to court on January 29th for trial. Now, Johnson is the mother of the 16-year-old girl who was killed when unknown gunmen shot inside her Nassau Village home on the night of Saturday, January 6th. The 41-year-old was allegedly harboring Gray, who was wanted in connection with the murder of Gerard Coakley on January 2nd, just 4 days before her daughter was shot dead. Police confirmed at the time that the 2 murders were connected. And on Wednesday, 31-year-old Gamaliel Gray was charged along with 24-year-old Malik Smith for the murder of Gerard Coakley. Bail was denied and they will both be remanded in custody. They returned to court on May 22nd for service of voluntary bill of indictment papers. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks, Fern. Well, just days after Police Commissioner Clayton Fernander laid out more details regarding recent homicides, the question of how to address crime in the country remains a hot topic. Today, a strong sign of force with dozens of boots on the ground in at least one community, with officers teaming up to target suspected illegal drugs. Lloyd Allen has more from the scene in this ZNX exclusive.
It was just shortly after 3 p.m. Friday when ZNS News was first on the scene in the area of Fikers and Pigeon Plum Street in the Pinewood Gardens community. There, we discovered several dozen DEU and Strike Force officers surrounding this home right behind me. Now, according to officials, their search was initiated by reports of suspected illegal drugs on the inside. And according to authorities, this, along with at least one other home in the area, is now being searched. Operation Bahamas Turks and Caicos, or OBAT, also teaming up with at least 2 choppers spotted circling the area. Traffic also backed up in a number of areas with many persons unsure what was happening. As a number of road checks were done in the area, a road check also done at the intersection of Willow Tree Avenue and Sapodilla Boulevard. Several cars were inspected as officers continued their search. Now, no official statement has been released by law enforcement in regards to today's initiative. However, we can confirm that several road checks, as well as at least one home search, was conducted over the past several hours in this area. And according to officials, their efforts will continue as they address crime in areas like this across the country. Reporting from the Pinewood Gardens community, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. There's no 2-year requirement before bail can be granted, according to Chief Justice Sir Ian Winder in his response to the call for an overhaul of the country's bail law. Cleopatra Murphy has the latest from the country's national security chief amidst rising public concern over the granting of bail and the impact it's having on crime in this country.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Munro, is getting in on the hot-button bail debate a day after Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder disagreed with Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander's stance that the Bail Act must be reviewed in the wake of 10 slayings already this year. Fernander lamented that a number of suspects charged with murder in 2023 were released on bail within 2 to 3 months, while Bahamas Bar Association President Khalil Parker suggested such comments were misguided, suggesting, among other things, more effective monitoring of suspects granted bail. He defended Fernander's stance as one that comes from his position as a police officer amid the troubling rise in murder.
The one thing that he did say that people need to focus on is it has to be a collaborative effort. We all have to come to the table. He said that. The Attorney General said that yesterday. Khalil Parker, the President of the Bar, said that yesterday. The Chief Justice said that. I've indicated from last year the Chief Justice agreed to a task force, and that is going to be what it's going to be focused on.
Munro acknowledges the Attorney General's point that the Court of Appeal has stated bail can be denied for suspects or public safety, and that the Office of the Department of Public Prosecutions will take a more aggressive posture on bail objections once police show murders are retaliatory or gang-related.
As a lawyer, I can tell you, you get to hold your lawyer to account. So just as the Commissioner produced those statistics, the police will be holding the Office of the DPP account to make the objections to bail, that if the judges grant the bail, then to appeal those grants of bail to the Court of Appeal. And as the Chief Justice says, the person remains in custody while that appeal moves forward.
The Minister of National Security also decried the high murder rate this year. The latest it saw a grandmother gunned down on Thursday, while her 2-year-old grandson is left clinging for life. He says it is apparent that young men, the main perpetrators of murder, have no regard for life, adding that the public has to decide what type of country they want to live in.
If you see something, say it to the police. A gun only has one purpose. A handgun has one purpose, and that is to kill. An assault weapon has one purpose, and that is to kill. So don't delude yourself to thinking that your son, your nephew, your neighbor have it for anything other than that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Major infrastructural upgrades on tap for the justice system this year. The transformation is expected to play a significant role in enhancing the administration of justice. Here's Fern Carey.
Construction of a new state-of-the-art Supreme Court complex expected to begin here in New Providence this year. It is anticipated that the new facility will address ongoing infrastructural challenges in the court system. Attorney General Senator the Honorable Ryan Pendacasey revealed that the property has been purchased and they have applied for the demolition permit on the site of the old Rodney Bain building on the corner of Shirley and Parliament Streets. He says the complex is scheduled for completion within 2 years. Efforts also continue to prosecute the guilty and dispose of cases that are unlikely to see a conviction on the evidence. The move will assist in reducing the backlog of cases in the criminal courts, which the Attorney General says is currently larger than the number of government prosecutors.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, which is tasked with the constitutional and legal responsibility for the commencement, continuation, and discontinuation of criminal prosecutions in the Bahamas, has for the year 2023 disposed of 314 matters in the Supreme Court. These matters range from offenses such as murders, armed robbery, rape, unlawful sexual intercourse, possessions of unlicensed firearms, arson, burglary, stealing, vehicular manslaughter, and assault with the intent to rape. For those matters where there are questions as to evidence, where witnesses are no longer cooperative, and given a variety of circumstances, seeing a matter to conviction may not be likely, the DPP has actively either reached plea agreements in these matters or abandoned the prosecutions as a whole.
The Attorney General also highlighted the latest figures as it relates to accused persons being released on bail, an issue that continues to cause alarm in the community.
Statistics show that of the 77 persons charged with murder in 2023, 2 persons were given bail for murder and reoffended for another murder the same year. 5 persons were charged with murder, were given bail and reoffended for major offenses that year. 12 of the 77 persons were on bail for murder prior to being charged in 2023. And 24 of the 77 persons were released on bail for murder within that same year. We all have a responsibility to address this issue.
The Attorney General suggested that these bail figures justify the need for a more aggressive approach in denying bail in these circumstances. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
The United States Department of State made a significant donation to the Bahamas aimed at assisting in the crime fight, but also saving lives during serious accidents. Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
It's an approximately $2 million investment aimed at helping the country fight the transnational crimes of human trafficking, drugs, and firearms smuggling. Officials from the U.S. Embassy Nassau handed over 6 jaws of life valued at nearly $200,000, 45 ballistic vests at an estimated value of $40,000, and 4 safe boats valued at $1.6 million to the Royal Bahamas Police Force at the Police Training College Friday morning. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, says the gesture symbolizes the enduring friendship between the Bahamas and the U.S., one that benefits both countries in the form of collective security.
We all know that the assistance that we provide in stopping the flow of narcotics to the U.S. benefits the Bahamas. We only need to look around on our streets and see the results of drug trafficking, to see the results of multinational crime organizations at work.
The vessels will be in waters around New Providence, Bimini, Grand Bahama, and Abaco to protect and fortify the country's borders. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez says because of the Bahamas' geographical location, it is often used as a transshipment route for drugs and firearms, thanking the U.S. for standing with the Bahamas in what he calls a crucial crime-fighting initiative.
Your generous donation of these 4 state-of-the-art go-fast boats mark a pivotal moment in our collaborative fight against transnational crime. They will fortify our efforts to respond swiftly and effectively to emerging threats.
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Usha Pitts assures the safe boats will be critical to preserving security among the many family islands.
They will, of course, be used in daily patrols and security, but they will also be used to support UPBAT, the Operation Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, which is, of course, our very close trilateral arrangement that has Bahamian officials working closely with American officials, all to keep the Bahamas secure.
The senior U.S. diplomat boasts a handover displays a great example of teamwork. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Members of the Haitian Armed Forces could end up here in the Bahamas. That is according to Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, as the Bahamas still decides what type of assistance it will give to the island nation under siege by gang violence. The Minister of National Security met with officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs early Friday on the potential deployment of Bahamian troops. The Bahamas has committed to sending some 150 troops to Haiti that continues to struggle with political instability since the July 2021 assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. That meeting comes as Haiti today marks 14 years since more than 300,000 Haitians died in a 7.0 magnitude earthquake in 2010.
And the same would have to happen before any deployment to Haiti. And so we have to define the things that will define what our personnel will do. It's to train, maybe right here, because the Haitian National Police, their Coast Guard need training. Some of our assistance may take place right here on this police college grounds of training members of the Haitian National Police.
And still to come, school attendance hotline launched, plus our feature story of the night, Phil Stubbs in concert. After a final look on weather, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Full Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Disney Cruise Line is back in the community, spreading cheer this holiday season. From Eleuthera, where Disney is creating its second island destination, Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, to Nassau and Abaco, where many of our Castaway Key crew members call home. Our volunteers are creating magical experiences and memorable moments for local children. Disney Cruise Line is committed to supporting youth initiatives in the Bahamas and creating lasting, positive impact in the communities we call home.
Happy holidays!
Conference returns January 10th through 14th with special guest speakers Bishop Lambert Gates from Indiana, Indianapolis, Bishop Rudolph McKissick from Jacksonville, Florida, Pastor Tolan Morgan from Detroit, Michigan, and from Washington, D.C., Minister Stephen Hurd. Special guest artists include Miranda Curtis, Melvin Crispell III, Leandria Johnson, and our special guest for a midnight pop-up, Todd Galberth and Ty Trebet. Pop Conference 2024. See you there.
The Bahamas successfully closed a $500 million 10-year international commercial loan benefiting from a first-loss policy-based guarantee provided by the Inter-American Development Bank. The landmark transaction is the country's largest credit-enhanced financing on the international loan market to date. It marks a first for the IDB and supports the country's external funding pipeline, representing over 50% of external borrowing requirements for the current fiscal year. The transaction will also fund eligible budgetary expenses such as infrastructure, education, and social welfare projects. We have all seen this throughout the day, students who should be in school but instead are walking around getting into mischief or something even worse. Well, now the Ministry of Education is rolling out a tool that gives all of us the ability to ensure that children are in school when they should be. Here's Corvell Pyfrom.
During COVID-19, school attendance fell off drastically. Even after a return to in-person learning, the number of students coming to school remained relatively low. Nearly 2 years later, officials say attendance has leveled off and now sits at around 90%. That's good news, but it's still not the 100% attendance rate education officials would like to see.
Education is mandatory for students or children the ages of 5 to 16. For students to gain academic and social skills, they must be present and engaged.
Today's launch of the Education Attendance Hotline for New Providence and Grand Bahama is another tool in the ministry's arsenal to ensure students are where they should be. The number is 422-4453 or 42-CHILD. Education Minister Hannah Martin.
So we are focused on getting children in the classroom because when they're there, we can help to mold and shape, support, protect, guide a young person as they move forward with their lives.
Members of the community are encouraged to keep their eyes out for students wandering the streets unaccompanied during school hours or students who are suspected of being out of school, not enrolled, or simply not attending school. The ministry also has additional attendance officers who will go door to door in communities searching for absent students. The initiative is being supported by the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
So we're going to be fully equipped and outfitted to provide the support to not only the school resource officers, but also the attendance officers and the Ministry of Education as a whole.
And officials tell us that this hotline is the only direct, user-friendly way available to every person in the community to inform about students' attendance at school. And they want all of us to know this number. It is 422-4453 or 42-CHILD. The hotline is operational as of today. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Several educators will leave the warm weather of the Bahamas tomorrow to gain international training in Northern Europe. Here's Desmond Saunders.
An opportunity of a lifetime for 3 primary school teachers from the Sybil Straughn Primary School. These educators jetting off to Finland this weekend as part of an educational study tour. For 1 week, the teachers will learn about sustainable development and the environment and be immersed in Finland's culture, heritage, and lifestyle. Vice Principal of the school, Joan Knowles.
I entered a survey. It was a competition, and I entered Sybil Straughn Primary in the competition. And this was a competition that was held by what is called EduGems out of Finland. And they wanted some information. We just had to answer some questions pertaining to sustainable development. Is it on the curriculum in the schools? How do we implement it? Do we see it as something that we need to implement, etc.? There were about maybe 20 or so questions. We ended up winning the opportunity, and they asked that I recommend 5 persons.
The trip was self-funded by teachers. Parents and school board members also chipped in to defray costs. Teacher Jarrell Richards-Roll is proud of the opportunity.
They have a cadre of topics that we're going to be learning about. So Monday, just a brief synopsis of it. Monday, we will have the introduction to the Finnish education, which is good because we would like to see how they educate their students and what we can learn from that to bring here for our students. On Tuesday, they will be introducing us to their curriculum assessment. On Wednesday, their topic is phenomenon-based learning and versatile learning environments.
Principal of Sybil Straughn Primary School, Shianda Maycock, and Acting District Superintendent Western New Providence Primary District, Jermaine Butler, says the educational experience should prove worthwhile.
We did not want them to lose such an opportunity. One of the first things we did, we met with our school board chairman. He's Police Superintendent Christopher Raming, and he was very excited. And he agreed to assist with the registration, which was $5,000 each, so we gave a portion, half towards that. But then the concerted effort of fundraising is what we all had to do.
The fact that we can actually go back to also affect them directly says a lot. With the students traveling, the teachers traveling with them, the administrative staff, to show them what it is we're actually doing in the Bahamas from their perspective is very powerful for us.
With Finland ranked as a top educational system in the world, Bahamian educators hoping this experience can build upon their successes within the local school system and transform education in the country. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
A possible change in the guard at one of the capital's most popular churches as its newly minted senior pastor resigned today, leaving a temporary void in the church's leadership. Devontae Hanna has a story tonight.
Somebody go ahead and give him the praise in this place. Like you know things are changing.
The fate of Mount Tabor Church now rests in the hands of its board of directors. This as Rakino Monker Friday morning tendered his resignation as senior pastor.
This is the end of this particular season in my life.
His resignation comes just 1 year into his term in office after taking the mantle from founding pastor Bishop Neil C. Ellis, who revealed to ZNS today his next move.
I'm retired with no intentions of going back into frontline ministries. I'll wait for the direction of the board to tell me what's being done.
Monko was installed after serving as the senior pastor at Word of Life Kingdom Ministries for more than a decade. His appointment to lead Mount Tabor, however, was not smooth after New Orleans-based pastor Dario Carey was first selected and his leadership rescinded. Since then, Monker has sat at the helm, touting significant work to grow the ministry.
As I sought to serve and to do that which God has called me to do at the Mount Tabor Church, it seems as though I have created some offenses.
News of the resignation comes after a reported rift between both pastors, with publication hitting social media, leaving a bitter taste in the mouths of many. As he exits the post, Monker is issuing an apology to Ellis.
You remain someone I look up to, I honor and admire. And if I have in any way disappointed you, let you down, please accept my humble apologies.
I will call on your name. The church has not released an official statement on the matter, and exactly who will steer the ship forward is expected to be discussed in a meeting tonight, according to Bishop Ellis. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
training at Commonwealth Bank taken to another level. Desmond Saunders tells us more about the bank's leadership training program.
51 Commonwealth Bank executives and leaders completing 9 months of intensive training in leadership. The graduates applauded during a ceremony at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort on Thursday. Vice President of Human Resources Claudia Rowe believes this inaugural conclave was significant to enhance the company's operations.
Some of the things we addressed were, first of all, tied to our cultural pillars. Our cultural pillars we use to entrench everything that we do. Our cultural pillars focus on ownership and accountability, transparency, innovation, customer centricity. And it was important that while we were developing further the competencies of leadership, it was important that we embedded our cultural pillars as well.
The bank's history underscores 6 decades of unparalleled growth, financial accomplishments, and tradition of service excellence dating back to April 20th, 1960. The country's Minister of Labor Public Service, Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, praising the institution's graduates for contributing to the company's rich legacy.
This leadership cohort for you is an ability, as you transition, to ensure that you take the information that you've gleaned, to ensure that you are developing leaders that come behind you. So programs like this, Madam President, Commonwealth Bank's LD program are very important. You are leading the way, as Commonwealth Bank always does.
The 9-month program proved worthwhile for these employees.
Brought together for the first time, at least for me, persons from all spheres of the organizations. It wasn't just senior management. It wasn't just new managers. It was really cross-functional leadership. And in that you get experiences and perspectives that you can't really imagine or consider. And it helps you to imagine and think about problems and challenges in a different way.
It has helped me develop my leadership skills. I was able to enhance what I've learned and model on the job. Every aspect that was taught in the classroom.
Plans on the drawing board to develop the leadership program at the bank. Next year's enrollment expected to increase. Desmond Saunders for Bahamas Tonight.
And it's time now for the poll question of the week. And this week we're asking, do you feel a lockdown should be imposed to help control both crime and COVID? You can chime in on our social media handles. We still have more news to come, but Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, Carifta standout Jamea Nabi talks about what's ahead for her as the track season starts to unfold. That's just ahead in sports.
Disney Cruise Line is back in the community, spreading cheer this holiday season. From Eleuthera, where Disney is creating its second island destination, Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, to Nassau and Abaco, where many of our Castaway Key crew members call home. Our volunteers are creating magical experiences and memorable moments for local children. Disney Cruise Line is committed to supporting youth initiatives in the Bahamas and creating lasting, positive impact in the communities we call home.
In the Yellow Elder Garden, Ali and her cousins listened to Grammy share tales. The 70s so sweet, with themed costumes and dancing feet. Then came the brass, reaching new heights. A symphony of Bahamian nights. The 2000s, the Yellow Elder, a symbol of pride. Grammy's legacy in view as Ali dances in her Yellow Elder costume. We are alive.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Road to Majority Rule series with a woman who says she was born a PLP, the party that won majority rule in the election of January 10th, 1967. Vaughn Albury reports.
An avid Progressive Liberal Party supporter, Ellen Adderley has worked tirelessly for the party. She was very close to the late former Governor General Arthur Hanna and his wife Beryl as a constituent in Anstown. She still lives at a Wolf and Kemp Roads home and said that Beryl Hanna, a white English woman, was truly a freedom fighter.
But Ms. Hanna came to us as if she was one of us. She didn't act it as if she was white or anything like that. She was a woman of my own heart. I love her. I love both of them.
Adderley later campaigned with the Hannas in the Kemp Road area and then throughout the Bahamas, having gained the confidence of PLP leader Sir Lyndon Pindling. The Long Island descendant said the PLP was the party of the average Bahamian, having gained the trust of workers and the union. For her, especially taxi drivers stationed at the Montague Hotel.
All the taxi drivers used to support me. I go every Saturday to collect money. And Mr. Joe Finneson, who is from Foxville down from St. Anne's Church, he will have my envelope ready. And that used to be £5 every week.
She was asked to mood on Election Day, January 10th, 1967, a day where she says she was targeted.
I went to every polling station with Smiley Butler. Me and Smiley Butler was a general, but he allowed me to be with him to look out for what's happening. And to my surprise, I got out of the car so I could talk to the voters, especially in Kemp Road, for Mr. Hanna. And as I was standing on the corner of Bar 20 corner to Kemp Road side, someone shoot at me. And the bullet bounced from between me and the building and hit Mr. Roll. I think Mr. Roll is paralyzed in his leg. He lived in Nassau Village.
And when the results came out,
man, people popping champagne all over the road. The cars stopped all in the middle of the road. We just had a ball. We had a ball. It was something to see.
The former teacher has opened a treasure trove of newspapers, books, and other articles to teachers and others. She said young people should learn that the struggle for majority rule was not easy and not to take the progress gained for granted. From the Bahamas tonight, I am Vaughn Albury.
Thanks a lot, Vaughn. A critical initiative targeting young men is at the center of activity at the Anatole Rogers High School this evening. The event, which leads into the weekend, is designed to align young men with mentors, all focused on helping them chart a clearer plan for their future. Lloyd Allen joins us live with more. Good evening, Lloyd.
Well, LaDawn, that's absolutely right. Good evening to you and good evening, Bahamas. Right now, we're at the gymnasium here at Anatole Rogers, where just about an hour ago, Game Changer Movement Global, they started an initiative that's going to last for the next few days, all designed to better guide young people toward their dreams and goals. And standing here with us is the coordinator of Hoodies. He's Ian Thompson. Talk to us about tonight's event.
Well, tonight, tonight we're going to be having our first day of a 3-day event. The conference is called Hoodie, and it's simply just meant to empower males. As you can see, the climate with males in our country it needs some assistance. So I just have to do my part to make my contribution to my country.
Well, some good information there, of course. And at the end of this event, of course, a number of men will be converging, all mentoring those young boys toward their future goals. Of course, there's more to come on this story. Reporting here from Anatole Rogers Gymnasium for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, stay close. There's more news right after this. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Jump into January and save with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $5. Best Value whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Country Barn mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.75. Boneless chicken breasts, $2.99 per pound. Romaine hearts, 3-pack, $4.99. Another year to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Looking into a traffic fatality which took place on that island around 6:20 Thursday evening. The traffic smash-up involving 2 vehicles, a gray Nissan Serena driven by a 60-year-old man and a Nissan Sentra driven by the deceased happened on Queens Highway in Rainbow Bay. Police say the circumstances surrounding the incident are still unknown at this time, but the driver of the Nissan Sentra received serious injuries and had to be taken from this vehicle by the jaws of life. Both drivers were taken to the local clinic where the 49-year-old died from his injuries a short time later. Relatives confirmed the victim's identity to ZNS today. He is 49-year-old Harlan Bodie. Water shortage issues continue to disrupt classes for the nearly 300 students at the Ellen Coakley Senior High School on Exuma. Recently, the school had to use a half-day schedule because of the challenges with water. Acting Director of Education Dominic McCartney Russell says the problem comes from a malfunctioning water pump at the senior school, but the junior high school is not impacted. Russell says temporary measures are now being implemented.
What we've been doing really is supplying the school with water pumps. However, because the school is on a single phase, every few months it just burns out the system, and so it's not enough to handle the load. And so BPL has promised that they're going to put the school on a 3-phase. But we've also engaged Water and Sewage. They're going to give us a holding tank so that we're able to, ensure children have access to education from 9 to 3 and not half days.
And it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, LaDawn. We have near clear skies, temperature at 77 degrees, the relative humidity 88%. We have south-southeast winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,014.0 millibars. That is 29.94 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Valleys this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 76 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Turtle Key, and Marshall, Abaco, the Berry Islands, 77. Alderstown, Bimini at 78 degrees. In Harbor Island, 76. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 78 degrees. Over in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, 79 degrees. 80s in Kemp's Bay, South Andros, and Black Point in Exuma. Alderstown, Cat Island, 78. 78 also in San Salvador, Rumkey and Georgetown, Exuma, Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, all at 79. Matitani, Nago, 81, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 77 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the northwestern islands through Saturday, south to southwest winds, speeds around 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights stay at 3 to 6 feet, meaning caution flags are in place. Now your high tide. That will take place at 8:30 tonight, the second high tide at 8:59 tomorrow morning. Now for the central and southeastern islands into Saturday, southeast to south winds at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. But come Sunday in the northwestern parts of our country, a frontal system, a weak one, will push through, and that will cause those winds to swing around out of the northeast at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Now your high tide on Sunday, 9:48 in the morning. The low tide will take place at 4:16 in the afternoon in the central and southeastern islands Sunday, light and variable winds with wave heights 1 to 3 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Boyfriend just the other night, he had his snatched up gal really tight.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Every time I see you.
Want to have your voice heard? Send your letters to the editor to digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. Share your thoughts on current events or positive stories within your community. That's digitalmedia@znsbahamas.com. We want to hear from you.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Big 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me. Then came the fear, the anxiety, and everything else in between. Facing your own mortality is very sobering. But for me, I decided right then to have a colonoscopy. And I'm glad I did.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in Bahamian men and women. Fortunately, almost all colon cancers are preventable. A colonoscopy or some other appropriate form of colon cancer screening is recommended for everyone over the age of 45. During a colonoscopy, we can detect and remove colon polyps that may grow and later become colon cancers. Don't wait until you develop symptoms, such as blood in your stool, abdominal pain, a significant change in your bowel habits, or unintentional weight loss. These may all be indications of a severe problem that requires immediate attention. If you're over the age of 45 or have any of those symptoms, talk to your doctor about the benefits of colon cancer screening today.
On Wednesday, January 10th, the country celebrated 57 years of majority rule with an ecumenical service at Zion Baptist Church.
Get involved. You gotta participate. Whether you're black or you're white, whether you're PLP or FNM, you gotta participate.
Tune into a rebroadcast on Sunday, January 14th at 11 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network. This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. GSSA Senior Boys Basketball action yesterday. Anatole Rogers up against Doris Johnson. Timberwolves jumping out to the lead early as they outscored Doris 38-15 at the end of the second quarter. They would lead it 68-19 in the end of the third. And by the end of this game, they would go up 92-24. That would be the score at the final buzzer. A lopsided contest at best. Timberwolves led by Cavell Ferguson, Xavier Thompson, and Derek Francis, all with 15 points apiece. Timberwolves head coach Danico Bowles pleased with the squad's play following the easy win.
I think our performance today was pretty good. You know, we had a solid 4 quarters. However, there were some lapses, especially on the defensive end, of course. I think we could have performed a little bit better there. Just be a little more disciplined, in terms of details, and places to be on the floor. So I think, like I say, for 4 quarters, we did a pretty good job. Offensively, we were into a lull as well. Each quarter we kind of had little droughts here and there. But for the most part, I think my guys, they played hard.
Now, Bowles also talking about whether the team is living up to his expectations.
So far, I think we are. But like I say, we can definitely play much better once we are more disciplined, especially on defensive end. So we're going to continue to put in the work that we need to. We're going to go in after this win tonight. We're going to go in and just tighten up on some things that we need to and get ready, prepared to play our next game.
Coach Bowles also giving his opinion on whether or not his team right now has the capacity to win the GSSA State Championship.
I definitely feel we are. Like I said, once we continue to come out and play, once we work hard, and once we be disciplined for 4 quarters, I definitely think that we're a championship caliber team this year.
With the track and field season just underway, Queens College sprinter and Carifta standout Jamia Nabi well into her training program. We caught up with the young track phenom yesterday as she competed at Queens College inter-school meet. She spoke about her off-season, knowing that she now competes in a new age group.
Now it's time to move up to the under-20s, and so off-season was a bit rough. The tempo went up, and I'm trying to get stronger in the 400 meters so I can have a stronger 200.
Nabi also talked about her expectations for the upcoming season.
My expectations for 2024 is to firstly finish the season healthy, and then secondly I would like to go Grenada on the Carifta team. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there, but whatever God has in store for me, I will take it as His will. Moving on forward, the IAAF relays, hopefully I can make that team and move on to the Olympics at a young age.
College basketball news, Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen and her Young Lady Rebels up against Auburn last night. Ole Miss up 27-21 at the half. And they would go on to a big third quarter, outscoring Auburn there 22-13 in that frame. And they would make a run in the fourth quarter, that being Auburn, but Ole Miss able to hold on for the victory 58-55. And that's it. You're looking at sports for you on this Friday. We got our Friday weather forecast just ahead. Stay with us.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Join us for the rebroadcast of the 2024 New Year's Day Jumping Parade on Saturday, January 20th at 7:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
On Wednesday, January 10th, the country celebrated 57 years of majority rule with an ecumenical service at Zion Baptist Church.
Get involved. You gotta participate. Whether you're black or you're white, whether you're PLP or SLM, you gotta participate.
Tune in to a rebroadcast on Sunday, January 14th at 11 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have this warm front backing up over northern Florida. That will eventually start moving towards the southeast as a weak cold front getting near the Lake Okeechobee area sometime on Saturday before moving into the northwest Bahamas on Sunday, where we expect it to stall and then move back towards the north. But by the middle of next week, it will once again push towards the southeast as a stronger cold front, and that will usher in some cooler temperatures as we head towards the latter part of next week. Now, later in the week as well, we expect that jet stream to make a dip towards the south, and that is what's going to usher in those cooler temperatures late next week. And forecast for tonight simply calling for mainly clear skies with a low temperature of 71 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy conditions in the morning, otherwise mostly sunny conditions with your high temperature getting up to a warm 83 degrees. Extended weather forecast, pretty nice weather on Saturday, but come Sunday, particularly in the early afternoon, we expect that front to push through, and that could bring with it some showers along the frontal boundary. Some of those showers lingering around on Monday as that front backs up again towards the north. But then we'll see skies open up on Tuesday, Wednesday. The second front pushes through. That will bring in the cooler temperatures, where we'll see our nighttime temperatures find its way into the 60s. So done.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Well, just before we leave this evening, a good old-fashioned down-home time expected to rock concert goers at the Nassau Cruise Port on Saturday. This as the company teams up with Zaymar Productions to host legendary Bahamian performer Phil Stubbs. The much-anticipated concert is set to kick off tomorrow, Saturday, January 13th, with opening performances from Nishi Ellis and Ira Storr in the Spank Band. Here's Nassau Cruise Port Assistant Manager of Events, Aisha Rowe.
I think we haven't had the honor of having an authentic Bahamian artist, and Nassau Cruise Port prides themselves on authentically Bahamian. And Phil Stubbs, with his huge catalog of 150 odd songs, we can't wait to see which of the 150 he chooses to perform for us that night. We are hoping for a 12 p.m. hard stop, but you never know where the night is going to go.
Stubbs' appearance will kick off the Nassau Cruise Port calendar of events as their first concert of the year. He says, above all, he's looking to have a good time with the down-home crowd.
It's going to be fun to go up there and perform for the Bahamian people and whoever decide to come. You know, I'll be up there and singing from my catalog, you know, the songs that I believe were made popular by the Bahamian people, by them requesting certain songs. So I tapped into that experience, and so I'll be singing the Hurricanes, the Perseveres, the Pot Cakes.
Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. The national report from all of us here at ZNS. I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great evening, everyone.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal, at the check-in counter, at security checkpoints, or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.